Have you ever stood under the night sky, gazing up at the silver moon, and wondered if there's a direct path, a bold shortcut for us to return there? A path that requires no complex transfer stations, unburdened by the legacies of the past, but simply a silver arrow flying straight to its destination. I once did, and now I no longer just wonder. I am contributing my small part to make that path a reality. I am Ethan, a young engineer working at what we call the City of Stars. Around me aren't skyscrapers of glass and steel, but giants of stainless steel, proudly reaching for the Texas sky. These are the starships. Every day, my thousands of colleagues and I aren't just assembling metal, we are weaving a dream of a future where humanity is no longer confined to a single planet. And our immediate goal, as clear as the moon above us every night, is to return there, but in an entirely different way. In the world of space exploration, two philosophies coexist. On one side is NASA's Artemis program, a grand multinational plan built upon the foundations of traditional industrial giants. It's like a majestic symphony with hundreds of musicians, each playing a distinct part, conducted by a brilliant maestro. But sometimes, that symphony becomes too complex, too cumbersome, and its costs far exceed all projections. Then there's another philosophy, one that is germinating and growing right where I stand. It is the philosophy of radical simplification. SpaceX, our company, has unveiled a mission concept that many consider crazy, but to us, it is the most logical path. A simplified Starship mission to take humans to the moon, faster, more efficiently, and more boldly. Let me tell you about that path. It doesn't begin with a 1,000-page plan or weeks-long meetings. It starts with a fundamental question. What is the fastest and most direct way to get from Earth to the moon and back? Our answer is a dance of two spacecraft, Dragon and Starship. Picture this. Everything begins on a launch pad in Florida or Texas. A super heavy rocket roars, propelling a crewed Starship into Earth orbit. Inside, the astronauts aren't passive passengers. They are pioneers, seated in a cockpit designed for a new era. After reaching orbit, the ship won't rush towards the moon. It will patiently wait for its companions. From the ground, other starships, the space tanker versions, will be launched in sequence. They will perform an intricate orbital ballet, approaching and docking with the crewed vessel, refueling it. This isn't science fiction. This is a real space gas station, allowing our ship to have enough energy for a long journey. This in-orbit refueling phase is the golden key, the revolutionary element that frees us from the constraints of the cruel rocket equation that has limited space missions for decades. Once the fuel tanks are full, the real journey begins. Starship will ignite its Raptor engines, and in just a few minutes, it will escape Earth's gravity, commencing its 3-day voyage to the moon. And here is the biggest difference. There will be no space station hovering near the moon to serve as a stopover. There will be no need for the crew to transfer from one vessel to another, then to a separate lander. No. Starship is all in one. It is simultaneously the interplanetary transport, the astronauts' home, and their lander. Upon reaching the moon, the colossal ship, over 50 meters tall, will orient itself, pointing its engines towards the surface. It will perform a vertical landing, a sight previously only seen in Hollywood films. Lunar dust will billow as the Raptor engines roar once last time, gently setting the ship down in a sea of tranquility. The hatch will open, and an elevator will slowly lower the astronauts to the surface. They will take the first steps of the 21st century onto another world, their ship towering behind them like a steel beacon, a symbol of human audacity. After completing their surface mission, which could last several days or even weeks, the Starship can support them for an extended period, they will return to the ship. The ship will roar again, taking off directly from the lunar surface using the same engine system that landed it and flying back to Earth orbit. But the journey isn't over yet. Re-entering Earth's atmosphere from interplanetary speeds is an immense challenge. Although Starship is designed to do so, we have an even safer and more reliable solution. In Earth orbit, an old friend will be waiting. That is the Dragon spacecraft, a seasoned veteran that has performed dozens of flights, safely transporting astronauts to the International Space Station and back. The astronauts will transfer from Starship to Dragon. Starship, the deep space giant, will remain in orbit to prepare for its next journey. Dragon, the re-entry specialist, will take on the final task, guiding our heroes through the fiery atmosphere and landing safely in the ocean. It's a plan that combines the best of both worlds. Dragon's proven reliability for the most critical legs, departing and returning to Earth, and Starship's unparalleled heavy-lift, deep space capabilities for the rest of the journey. We don't need to reinvent everything. We already have almost all the necessary hardware. Dragon has flown, Starship is undergoing flight tests and progressing at a dizzying pace. Its logic is simple and elegant. To serve this plan, the design of the human landing system Starship has also undergone a revolution of simplicity. The crew cabin has been refined, eliminating unnecessary elements. The number of windows has been reduced, as in deep space, each window is a potential weak point. Life support, electronics, and control systems are intelligently integrated, reducing mass and complexity. This creates an astonishingly spacious interior, allowing astronauts to live and work more comfortably than ever before. Even the landing legs have been redesigned, capable of folding compactly and deploying more robustly, ensuring absolute stability on the Moon's uneven surface. When we presented this plan, many were shocked by its simplicity. But for us, that is the beauty of engineering. And this highlights a profound contrast with the current approach. I recall reading analyses by Professor David Miller, a brilliant thinker in the field of space. He criticized the current Artemis program as vendor-driven rather than objective-driven. Allow me to explain. An objective-driven program would start with the question, what is the objective? To go to the Moon. So what is the best way to do that? It would then design an optimal system to achieve that goal. Conversely, a vendor-driven program begins with existing components from various contractors and attempts to piece them together, like trying to build a house with bricks of different sizes. It asks, we have the SLS rocket from contractor A, the Orion capsule from contractor B, and gateway modules from contractor C, D, E, and how do we combine all these to execute a moon mission? The result is a complex, inefficient, and extremely costly system. Professor Miller pointed out critical weaknesses. The Gateway Station, a space station in lunar orbit, is touted as a crucial stepping stone. But according to our philosophy, it is an unnecessary complication, a mandatory stopover that increases risk and cost without adding much value to a simple landing mission. It's like wanting to fly directly from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh City, but being forced to lay over in Da Nang, change planes, and wait an extra day. Next is the National Lander Program, where multiple companies are tasked with developing different landers. In theory, competition is good, but in practice, it creates a jumble of incompatible systems, each with its own requirements and interfaces, adding to the burden of integration. And finally, at the heart of the program is the SLS rocket. Though powerful, it remains a design based on outdated space shuttle technology, extremely expensive for each launch and non-reusable. It is a legacy of the past, an effort to maintain existing production lines and jobs rather than a leap forward into the future. Standing amidst the Starship assembly bay, breathing in the scent of metal and ambition, I clearly see the difference. Here, every decision is driven by a single question. Does this help us get to Mars and the Moon faster, safer, and more sustainably? If the answer is no, it is discarded. This ruthless pursuit of simplicity and efficiency is our strength. We are not bound by political contracts or old technological legacies. We are only bound by the laws of physics, and we are finding ways to bend them to our will. This story is not meant to criticize NASA. NASA is the giant that paved the way for all of us, the inspiration for my generation. But sometimes, even giants need to be awakened by new ideas, by bold approaches. This race back to the Moon is not just a race between nations or companies. It is a race between two philosophies, between inherited complexity and revolutionary simplicity. Every time a Starship is raised onto the launch pad, I don't just see a colossal mass of metal. I see a promise. The promise of a future where traveling to the Moon will be as common as flying across oceans today. I see scientists establishing permanent laboratories there, harnessing resources and looking deeper into the universe.
I see a solid stepping stone for the next great journey, Mars. And it all begins here with daring to think differently, daring to question